Rhubarb. Now, what can you do with rhubarb? When I was a kid, we used to go into my granddad's garden, break off a stick of rhubarb, dip it in the sugar and chew on it. My, that was sour. That would have been the equivalent of a sour sweet back then. Rhubarb, quinces, crab apples, they're a difficult fruit to cook with, and that's why we're going to turn this rhubarb into a wonderful rhubarb crumble. Come on, let me show you how. Now I've got about 500 grams, that's about a pound of rhubarb here, and I'm just cutting it up into small, maybe about 1/2 inch pieces. And we're going to be using the green end and the red end, it really doesn't matter. Rhubarb is pretty bitter all the way down. And we're going to lift those rhubarb pieces and place them in a baking dish like this. Now when our baking dish is about 1 inch from the top like that, we're ready. Now that is a really sour tasting fruit in there, so we need to add some sugar. I've got 100 grams, 3.5 ounces of a soft brown sugar, and I really just want to sprinkle this over the top. And then just using a spoon, we're just going to mix the sugar in a little bit. It doesn't have to be completely incorporated because it will settle into the rhubarb as it cooks. I'm taking a little bit of lemon juice, just fresh lemon juice. This is optional, by the way, but I'm just going to squeeze that over the top. I have 60 grams, 2 ounces of salted butter cut up into little cubes, and I'm just going to drop that across the top of the rhubarb. Now here's where we make a delicious crumble. I've got 200 grams, that's about 7 ounces of all-purpose flour. Just going to pop that in our mixing bowl. And then I'm going to add some room temperature salted butter. I've got 125 grams, that's 4 ounces. Just going to pop that butter in there. It does need to be fairly soft because what we're going to do now is just rub the butter and the flour together until we end up with a breadcrumb type consistency. And after a few moments, you're going to have this wonderful buttery breadcrumb. Now, as delicious as that might be, we want to add some flavour into this, and this is what's going to make our crumble. I've got 100 grams, that's 3.5 ounces of rolled oats. And I've got 100 grams, 3.5 ounces of soft brown sugar. Now here's my tip for getting a wonderful flavour into your crumble. I've got 50 grams, a little under 2 ounces of a finely ground almond. I'm just going to pop that in there as well. Then we're just going to take a spoon and mix this together. And when it's all fully mixed like that, we're going to pop it on top of our rhubarb. And that way everybody gets a chance to have as much crumble as they like. Now I have a little bit of crumble left over there, but I'm not going to try and be tempted to compact this down. I'm just going to leave it loose, laying across the top like that. I don't mind it being piled up a little bit. And there you have it. Look at the depth of that crumble. Doesn't it look delicious? Everyone's going to get plenty of crumble, plenty of rhubarb. Okay, that's going in the oven for about 30 to 45 minutes. Just keep an eye on it. It should go a lovely golden brown on top. Now look at that, there's the rhubarb crumble. I don't know if you can see it bubbling up on the sides there. Anyway, we need to leave this on the side for about 10 or 15 minutes just to let it cool before we serve it. Now you might wonder where this custard has come from on the side. I just made that while the crumble was cooking, and I'll show you that recipe within the next day or so. Now my rhubarb crumble is still piping hot, but you look at the crumble, the crust on there. Now, always, whenever we make a crumble, everybody wants extra crumble. Well, with this wonderful thick crumble, everybody gets plenty. Now we'll just lift that on there. Now, how would you have your rhubarb crumble? With cream, with ice cream? I love my rhubarb crumble with fresh custard. And as I say, I'll be putting the recipe for this custard on my site very shortly. But will you just look at that? As always, I'm going to give this a try, and I hope you'll be joining me as well. Here goes. You know, we've transformed that bitter rhubarb into something wonderful and sweet, and the crumble is just delightful. I'm going to sit and finish this. Anyway, please share the love, give this the thumbs up. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Now I'll let you into a little secret. Rhubarb crumble is my second favourite crumble. There's actually one I like more. Now if you can guess, comment down below. It's an unusual fruit, little green thing, spiky leaves all over it. Anyway, be good. I'll leave a couple of links to some other videos. Please stay in touch. I'll see you next time.